not only to bring this wisdom to you, but it's even for my own personal usage. I learn something every single time that we have one of our calls. And, it's interesting because I've been studying with Mynoo for almost 9 years. And I really love what we're up to right now, which is the 10 Commandments. And she's going to give us one of my favorite commandments tonight. And I'm really excited about it. Each one is very deep and rich and so much texture. And tonight, I'm not going to give the secret away because I'm going to let her do that. But stay tuned. We're both streaming live on Facebook, and welcome everyone that's in Facebook. And we're also going to be bringing on our Zoom participants shortly. So Mynoo and I met about 9 years ago on a journey into miracles in Bali, and it was absolutely divine. And that's where I really kind of jump-started the work that I was doing from a self-introspection and my spiritual work. So I feel so grateful that I get to have these reminders and this new information every single week on Thursday evening. It's just such a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. So tonight is a special night. Again, I don't want to give away the surprise. Mynoo will be on with us shortly, but many of you know Mynoo. She is a serial entrepreneur. She was a movie producer, and she was one of the go-getters in life. And lo and behold, if the universe didn't have another plan for her, so she found herself in Bali on her own personal journey, where she began to receive these incredible downloads and wisdom. And then today, she graces us with that information. Hello, Mynoo. So good to see you tonight.
Great to see you. Great to see you.
So will you give us a little sneak? Yeah, I know you look forward to it as much as we do. Will you give us a little sneak peek about what our fifth commandment is?
Yes, the fifth commandment is, it came to me as quite a stark command when it came through, which is, it's a death of survival. And it's a thriving instinct that counts. It's like, what? How can survival be dead, And when I engage with this whole idea of this commandment as a commandment, remember when I talk about these 10 commandments they're not commands of how you conduct your life. They really are a revelation for each one of us to know that, our foundation is shifted. And the foundation on which we are creating our new world is in sync with the foundation of the new world. So at a foundation level, if thriving is what counts, then what does it even mean to be thriving? And then when I started working with it, I really got to see that if you actually come from a thriving instinct, and that's the instinct that drives your choices, survival is taken care of. So it is indeed a death of survival. Thriving instinct is what counts.
We often get so caught up in that idea of survival. And I know that kind of what I consider to be a lower vibration. I hope you go into that tonight about how we get out of that and into this whole idea of thriving.
Yeah, we're going to actually begin today with a journey that invokes and activates the thriving instinct at a cellular level. And also a remembrance gets invoked and activated at a nano-cellular level. Nano-cellular level is where the RNA and the DNAs reside. So people will reawaken to that. So, we could have talked about this, Catherine, and done the session. And that would have achieved something quite amazing. People would have taken some great notes, great ahas, and things, because survival is such a powerful energy, that would still remain as a de facto default. By starting the session with the journey of reconnecting to what it feels like when you're thriving, will enable us to then, when I go in and share, how do you actually work with this, will enable that regenerative thriving capacity in each of us. And then we don't even need to worry about the low vibration of the surviving part, though I will refer to it because that's just a relatedness that people have, so they know when they're sliding into surviving and they can step away from it. But thank you for asking that.
So exciting. It's always so exciting, but the fact that tonight we actually get to you're going to take us on a little journey is even more exciting to start it that way, because often we end. But I'm
Yes.
going to go ahead and let some of our guests in that are coming in on our other method that we go Zoom and Facebook at the same time. So if that sounds good to you, Mynoo, I'll go ahead and
Go ahead
let
and
them in as we're continuing on.
yes, please, please.
We have Chris joining us and Asha. You know, it's like a big family here on Zoom. It's so great to see everyone every week. Hello, Vince. Hello, Linda's joining us. And we have everyone from California to New York City. Danette is joining us here from New York City to India. Asha's in India. So, and I'm here in LA. It's just really such a community that you've created, Mynoo, over the years, really. This is, I know, started some time ago. When did all this begin?
2010, it sort of began. I mean, it began full steam ahead for me. But in terms of the community building, I would say 2011.
Awesome. And we have
Yeah.
Joanne joining us. We have new faces, we have some old faces, but it really does feel like such a family. And it's so wonderful to have you every single week. Hello, hello to everyone. So we got started just a little bit early, so we didn't have to leave you guys sitting out there. It's like waiting to come in and being out in the cold. So we brought you all into the warm living room here. Here's Daniela from up in Petaluma, New York. Oh, sorry, Petaluma, California. Good to see you all. How's everyone tonight? Hopefully well. I see lots of smiles. Danette's got the big thumbs up. That's always great. So yes, Mynoo is just filling us in on tonight's fifth commandment. So Mynoo, from survival into thrival.
Indeed.
I love it.
I mean, what's exciting for me is to have thriving stay there not as an intellectual construct, but as an instinct. You know, we are so used to the survival instinct, we will survive. And achieving that shift from surviving to thriving at an instinct level is what's very exciting. And we just have Thailand coming on with Ken.
Welcome, Ken. So good to see everyone. Jill is joining us. Jill is one of our journeyers. It's really wonderful. You do so many different things, Mynoo, with the Miracles business that you have, and lots of different faces from lots of different areas. There's even a business side to what you do. Do you want to tell people a little bit about that before we get started on our journey?
Yes, I mean, one of the commandments, which really I received the commandments much later, much long after I began the business collective, which is all about a shift in the business context from fantastic or great results to extraordinary results. And that's the playing field in which business is actually showing up now. So what does that mean? It means a combination of three things that happen in parallel. You know, unprecedented performance, operational excellence, and transforming quality of life for yourself, your stakeholders, and the planet. So can you imagine if you're actually making business happen in that way? You know, where you have the checks in the boxes of what's expected from a business in terms of unprecedented performance. You know that you can regenerate it and sustain it ongoingly because you've got operational excellence. And you're transforming quality of life, and you're focusing your attention on yourself. You know, put that oxygen mask on for yourself first before saving someone else. So you're doing it for yourself, your stakeholders, which includes your family and friends, as well as stakeholders in the business and the planet. That combination is just so exciting for me to be working with. And we have a collective of businesses, our businesses across the world. I mean, some of them have had to pivot because of the corona phenomenon, what occurred, and they have pivoted. The attitude and approach of leaders has been amazing. You know, we've had businesses raise funding during this time. You know, our own business, and I'll be talking to you all over the next several weeks about an educational app, which has a lot of this wisdom in the form of courses that will be coming out. That got funded. You know, we've had businesses that have got funded multiple times during this time. You know, the largest grossing months some of them have had when their competitors were actually closing shop. And that comes from really looking at all of these things. It's a little bit like full spectrum well-being. You know, if we only focus on the physical, it becomes a fixing exercise. You know, there's something goes wrong physically, you go, you know, pop a pill or do something and it fixes the physical side. But when you actually address it in a full spectrum way, where you've got physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental, and all of those things being worked through, then that becomes regenerative. You know, and the same thing applies to business. So there's the full spectrum well-being for me is the extraordinary life piece, which you know very well, Catherine. The extraordinary results is on the business side.
And one of the things I love absolutely the most about having been part of the business collective, you know, you learn how to have fun while you are in business. And again, we go back to that whole idea of working so very, very hard, not just in our lives, but on our business. And it's a whole different ballgame once we start participating this new way with you at the helm.
I'm just grateful that I'm able to remain open, allowing myself to be a vessel of bringing forth what is absolutely necessary for this time. So,
well, we are quite excited tonight to delve deeply into the fifth commandment. And for those of you who have just joined, Mynoo's going to start us on a little surprise right off the bat. So here we go. Get ready.
Great. So I'm going to actually begin this commandment with a journey. And for those who are, you know, logging onto Facebook and just starting up right now, what I would like to share is that this commandment came through as a message for me initially, which is, it is the death of survival and it is thriving that counts. And I was a bit taken aback by, you know, death and survival just doesn't quite go. They're two sides of completely two opposite sides. And yet when I engaged with this whole thriving concept, I got present to that when you are in this space of thriving, then survival is taken care of. Survival occurs for you to thrive anyway. But if you only focus on survival, you've already created a boundary. And thriving, you know, in a world where survival is what is creating the boundary, when you have to step into thriving, it takes so much effort that makes it hard to sustain it, let alone have thriving become regenerative. So we'll talk more about that after I have taken you on a journey. My guidance today was that we begin today by going on a journey. We are born, this planet is about thriving, you know, and we are now in this relationship industry, which is all about thriving. We went through the journey of the 7 C's after we engaged with navigating the unknown, which is all about, you know, the energies that are directing us at this time, which are collaborative co-creation of coexistence, and doing so with choice, with certainty, with celebration, bringing about coherence. All of that is about thriving. Because in survival, you can have one or the other, or maybe two, but not all of the 7 C's. In thriving, they all exist. They are a given. It is so. So how cool is it? You know, you just make the choice, I'm going to operate from a thriving instinct. And then so many dots get connected energetically, automatically. I mean, I started using this approach, like, you know, that there's something that I talk about when I do the journey into miracles. I talk about it's time to shift our relationship to choice. We are always choosing anyway. So what if you engaged with the consequence of the choice you're about to make, and you chose consciously the consequence before you take action. And I mean, that's transform. You do it for a day and you will notice the difference. Before you jump into action, action's inevitable. We are taking action, even if the action is sitting in one place and being still. Action is happening, choice is happening. You just engage with the consequence of the choice and then choose the consequence, then take action. Now, if you were to now apply the thriving approach to this, and the consequence that you wish is thriving, and now you look at the choices you have in front of you, it's quite amazing. There is like that inner yumminess, which is like yummier than the regular yummy that happens when you apply the thriving approach to choosing. And that's what I experienced. I mean, literally, it's salivating at a cellular level that happens when that thriving instinct is invoked. So I'm going to begin by taking you on a journey. So your own thriving instinct gets invoked and it is activated, and it is then anchored at a nano-cellular level as a cellular memory. You will then work with it as we go through the session and go through some of the practices that you can put in place. You will then work with it and you'll work it for it to become so for you. And it will not take long. The great thing about these commandments is they're foundational. So as long as you step into that realm, the foundation is solid, even though it feels very fluid. It is solid, and you're anchored and you are in the flow. Okay, so let's begin with the journey. Get yourself comfortable and imagine. So best is to sit up upright. And if you can sit with your feet on the floor, that would be ideal. If you wish to sit cross-legged, you can, but feet on the floor is even faster when it comes to this invoking and activation that I'm about to take you through. So just to be comfortable, back is upright, it is supported. You don't have to be resting against a chair. You just feel as if your back is supported. Don't want you to have any discomfort in that space. Okay, imagine that the base of your spine is connected to the core of the earth. Imagine the middle of your feet are connected to the core of the earth. Drop your arms on either side. Just move your palms forward. You're just connecting to the tips of your fingers. Just feeling them right now. And just in you tapping the tip of your fingers and feeling them, you're bringing about a grounding connection to the core of the earth. The connection to the core of the earth is through a golden cord. And this cord has in it the vibrational frequency of the precious metal gold. We invoked a very powerful circle a few hours ago when we did the Beyond meditation. And in the center of the circle was a tourmaline tower. And the tourmaline tower still is there, very present. And its role right now is to neutralize any form of negative or lower vibrational frequencies, any negative dialogues that you might be holding about yourself, about your lineage, about the world, about politics, about anything at all. All forms of negative dialogues which seem like so important to hold on to, tourmaline tower is just neutralizing the negative frequency of it so that you can be present to what the dialogue is really about, as opposed to the meaning or the experience of negativity that gets invoked by it. So start scanning your body from the top of your crown, about 6 inches on the top of your crown, and go around in concentric circles and scan all the way through the circle. And in the act of scanning, you automatically release any energies that no longer serve you. They get released into the core of the earth. So just go ahead and start scanning front of your forehead, the back of your head, the front of your nose, the middle of your head, the front of your chin, the back of the top of your neck, the top of your shoulders, the back of the base of your neck, and the top of the shoulders at the back. Just scan everything in between. Front of your chest, the back of your upper back, scan everything in between. The front of your waist, the back of your middle back, and scan everything in between. The front of your abdomen, the back of your lower back, and scan everything in between. The top of your thighs, the back of your thighs, the front of your knees, the back of your knees, the front of your shin, the back of your calf muscles, the top of your ankle, the base of your feet, the top of your feet, the base of your feet, the top of your toes, the base of your toes, the tips of your toes. You go to the top of your biceps, your arms, and then just do a big scan going all the way down to your fingertips. And in doing that scan, you're just releasing all energies that no longer serve you. You're going to do a 9-4-6 breath. And this 9-4-6 breath this time, sure enough, it achieves the alignment between the mind brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. My focus on this 9-4-6 experience right now is the opening up of the 13 chakras that are now available to each one of us as humans. So as I'm doing the breathing in to the count of 9, holding to the count of 4, and breathing out to the count of 6, you will experience the popping open, the unblocking, the release of these different chakras. And there are 13 of these. So let's begin. Breathe in to the count of 9. So breathe in, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Focus your attention in your heart. You're going to breathe in love, kindness, and compassion into your heart. And when you breathe out, you're going to breathe out gratitude and peace. The heart is stationed in the now. And the now, the moment of now, is always whole and complete. The moment of now has no incumbents. It is the miracle moment, as I call it. And it's followed very fast by the next moment. So breathe in love, kindness, and compassion in the moment, and breathe out gratitude and peace. Peace is the consequence of gratitude. So when you breathe out gratitude, peace is the consequence. Breathe in love, kindness, and compassion. Stationed, anchored in the now. Breathe out gratitude, peace is the consequence. And as you're breathing in and out, I'm actually going into every chakra of yours, the 13 of them. And I'm connecting my own chakras to yours. I've just had an opportunity to work with this a little bit longer. So I have a vibrational frequency that I'm able to bring into your field, which uplifts your vibrational frequency to such an extent that your chakras, if they are blocked, unblock. You keep breathing in and out. Okay, your breath would have become deeper. Notice a big exhale that you might have done. Drop your shoulders down. Notice the back of your crown being lifted up a little. And your feet becoming closer and closely attached to the ground, as if you're laying down new roots. And as the roots become deeper and longer, the back of your crown lifts up higher. And there's a stretch that takes place at a nano-cellular level in your vertebra, and all the connective tissues and organs that make up your skeletal vertebra system. And that wonderful stretch drops your shoulders back, hands are down, they're really comfortable. It's as if the double chins, if you had any, disappeared. Your eyes sink deeper into their socket. The tongue that might be touching the top of the palate drops down into your mouth. The pancreas squirts out some digestive juices into your mouth, because we are actually digesting away any toxicity that may be being released at this point in time. Sometimes when our negative emotions are being released, a physical reaction takes place. And we use phrases like, that has a bad taste. Or it doesn't smell good. Even though may be no fragrance, but even us using that phrase is an indication that our cells connect to the senses at a cellular level. So there's some of those sensory experiences may be occurring right now. Heart is really open, plumped up. If you were doing a live blood analysis, your cells would have, the stickiness would have been released. They would start moving comfortably. A lot of fungus that exists, that keeps us in a low vibration, is right now being sent towards our excretory system so that it can be released. Because at a cellular level, we've already upped our own vibrations. It's as if that feeling that we have when we first experience that infatuation with someone, we're in the anticipation of meeting this person, we are like fully lit up and alive. Your cells are about to meet the thriving instinct. And it's that anticipation that is starting to get the cells to feel alive. Every breath you take is becoming deeper. Every breath out is becoming fuller and deeper. You can now breathe in and go all the way to the top of your crown, and the breath is going all the way down to your tailbone. When you breathe out, the breath is coming out of your tailbone, and the breath is being released out of your heart. It's become so deep that just only breathing into your heart feels very shallow, because there's so much opening that has taken place. Your lung sacs becoming nice, plumped up and happy and open. And as you're breathing in, you can even feel and maybe even see the nebula-like structures that make up your neurons. Because your nervous system is relaxed, it is comfortable, comforting, and it's as if you're sliding into this amazing hammock-like structure that is holding you. And as you experience that that feeling of being held by your own nervous system, you come home to the comfort of you, and you allow yourself to receive the comforting blanket from nature, the comforting blanket which holds the vibration of okayness. Now you are in the comfort of you, being held by your own nervous system, stationed in whole and complete, held and wrapped around by okayness. The nature spirits are dancing away in our midst. Feels like a magical kingdom, and it's a kingdom that is your field. It's the magic that resides in your field that has become opened and invoked, releasing the presence of all of these amazing magical experiences. Experiences within experiences that you have experienced in this lifetime, but you never noticed until now. And as you start noticing these experiences, it's as if you're being painted with a brush. You know, like we paint a pastry before putting it in the oven. You're being painted by the brush of unbridled joy. And a rejoicing vibe sets in. Rejoicing is like the catalyst. It is the catalyst that invokes the thriving instinct. You've all been painted with the vibe of rejoicing. And the vibe of rejoicing is a frequency that can penetrate all the walls, cellular walls. And it is literally as if the rejoicing vibe is penetrating you at a cellular level. And it's going deeper and deeper and deeper into you. And as it enters deeper and deeper and deeper into you, any low vibe energies, any saboteur memories that come from a state of thriving, that push you into a state of thriving, they are being literally squeezed out because the cells are plumping up and filling with this rejoicing vibe. It's as if it's literally like electricity. The current has to run through first. When the switch is flicked, the light comes on. The current is moving right now through all of your systems that make up your presence in your field. And it's the current of rejoicing. And with one deep breath, this next deep breath that you take, you flick the switch on. And the switch is flicked on, and the thriving instinct connection is established. The light bulb is lit. And your cells are tingling. Your cells are tingling. Oh, it's a feeling of this beautiful warmth of sunrise from the center of the cells that is spreading across the entire cell and emanating from there. It's as if your body is becoming lighter and lit up. From the base of your feet, the core of the earth releases this golden light. It's a very powerful healing light, and it in a meticulous way is rising up every cell of your body. And as your cells start to get lit up and beam up, we're now into your nano-cellular system. The nano-cellular system is what makes up the RNA, the DNA, the chromosomes. And we are now in your nano-cellular system. And the thriving instinct is penetrating that system. Many, many, many programs. Some of them we may have inherited, some of them which are lineage related, some of them which are genes that we have been birthed with, and they come laden with these programs. As the thriving instinct starts to penetrate any of those that no longer serve us, that we are carrying with us right now, are being neutralized. And in that neutralization, what you are receiving is the wisdom of your soul being. The wisdom of your soul being is the wisdom of thriving. Soul is indestructible. It is unstoppable. It is eternal. It is limitless. It is not confined by, limited by any boundaries. And yet, it remains stationed in whole and complete, which means when you operate from the vibrational presence of your soul, it takes with it everything that it is co-creating with, that it is co-present with, and it does so in a thriving way. That elixir of the thriving instinct at a vibrational level existed within you as your soul energy signature. And that elixir, we are literally now popping open. It's like decorking the champagne, and the bubbles, those beautiful self-creating bubbles of thriving, are percolating every nanocell in your being. Any programming of your nanocell spreads automatically and regenerates itself. What we have done right now is imbued your nanocellular structure with a remembrance of the thriving instinct. You were already born with it. By invoking and activating the thriving instinct at a cellular level, it enabled us to reawaken the remembrance of thriving at a nanocellular level. What it also means, any chronic physical conditions that hold you from expressing yourself just because of some physical impairments, those start to get neutralized also. Any mental anguish, undertones of worries have already disappeared. You can't find them. Your emotional prowess goes back to base zero. And from that powerful place, it is going to move forward, expressing the truth of who you are as you connect socially and reestablish a whole new collection of social dynamics, transforming the environment within you, which in turn transforms the environment outside of you. Extraordinary life is invoked, becomes your reality, brings you forth stationed in your truth. Notice now, where in your body do you have that sensation that reminds you of the thriving instinct? Allow yourself to invoke a color. What is the thriving instinct color? So if you ever feel trapped in survival, you can just visualize that color or see that color and you land on your feet in the thriving instinct. What is that color? And as you notice that color, notice that smile, and notice the edge of your lips turning up as the smile becomes a big beam of your inner illumination. And as that beam becomes even wider, notice the wrinkling on your foreheads just relax. Notice yourself reclaiming many, many years, as if you're working backwards, getting closer, becoming younger, reconnecting to the vibrational age of you. Experiencing that plumping up of collagen underneath your skin. The moisture being released in your body at a cellular level, so the dryness starts to disappear. Beautiful taste that is now being released into your mouth. Phenomenal stillness that holds you in your center. A reconnection to your new center of gravity. And this center of gravity is being anchored. And it's being anchored in the frequency of thriving. Thriving becomes just so. You thrive because you choose to. You thrive and experience the world around you thrive. You become present and connected to the power that is you. And your physical body becomes like a hose pipe, which is releasing the presence of you in the form of your full self-expression. And in your self-expression, what comes out is the resonance of thriving. Notice some crackling in your ears. It's the middle ear that is literally being cleaned out. It's as if the universe is looking into you and you are receiving, being looked into by the universe, and in allowing yourself to receive being looked into by the universe, as your eyes sink deeper into your socket, you're allowing yourself to receive being looked out for. You know the universe has your back because you feel yourself standing tall, experiencing the full presence of you, the prowess of you, the expression of you. Sharing the experience of thriving. And as you do that, allow yourself to see, like a series of movie scenes, of what rejoicing is occurring. Notice at a cellular level, many incidents that you felt you barely survived. There was so much there for you to rejoice in those incidents. The fact that you have survived and kept that survival instinct so strong up to this point in time is worthy of celebration. Allow yourself to notice that celebration, because from that, it's given you a springboard to spring out and emerge into this new world, embracing, embodying, being, doing, and expressing yourself as the torchbearer, the sharer, the role model of living life with this thriving instinct, laughing out loud, living out loud. Take your arms on either side and stretch them. Stretch your fingertips. Just imagine that the tips of your fingers are now stretching out. They're stretching out as far and wide as your entire presence exists. Your field is now expanded. It's beyond this planet even. You're going all the way to where you originated from as the essence, a conscious essence of the Creator. Take your hands up above your head. Fingers are still stretched. Your fingertips are stretching out as far as they can. That encapsulates your entire presence. Make a big circle. Take your hands on either side. Take them down on either side of you. Palms facing forward. Fingers still stretched. Your fingers are going all the way down. Down, 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 down. Beyond the other side of the planet. Into the cosmos. Into the universe. Into the multiverse. Whatever it takes. That takes you all the way to where your presence as this amazing being that is displaying and sharing the human frequency of love came from. You have marked your territory, and that entire territory and all the beings that occupy that space in that territory are now experiencing that invocation of the thriving instinct. And we are penetrating straight into the nano-cellular structure. And the thriving instinct becomes their reality. It is in their field. And in doing so, we have literally dissolved any anchors, any hooks and shackles that keep that propensity to hold on to barely surviving is literally being neutralized. And you allow yourself to receive the knowingness that surviving is taken care of as you thrive. Notice yourself standing up from your chair. You're still sitting down right now. You're imagining that you're standing up and you take your step forwards. Notice what it feels like. Is there a different weight on your feet? Is there a lightness of being? Is there a more anchored strength in you being in your core as you take that step forward? Open the doorway, cross the threshold. Notice yourself going out and meeting people. Notice yourself as you meet everyone that is here on this gathering. Notice yourself meeting them, meeting your pets. Allow yourself to take a deep breath in, and as you're taking that breath, move your head to the back. As far back as you can. And as you're breathing out and touching your chin to the chest. And stretch the back of your spine as much as you can. Take a deep breath in and move your head to the right. And as you breathe out, get your right ear to touch your right shoulder as much as you can. Take a deep breath in, move your head to the back, and let it go as far back as you can. Breathe out as you go as far back as you can. Breathe in, take your head to your left, And as you breathe out, have your left ear touch the left shoulder as much as it can. Breathe in, come to the front. And as you breathe out, touch your chin to the chest. Breathe in, head back to the center. Anchor it with a 9-4-6 breath. The thriving instinct is now invoked and activated and anchored at a nano-cellular level. It is invoked and activated at a cellular level. And the more you work with it consciously, that is the key to its anchoring at a cellular level. The nano-cellular level anchoring was the key piece that required to be achieved today. So breathe in to the count of 9, hold to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 6. Every breath you take, you're bringing together your left and the right brain and entering a whole brain state in the context of thriving. And thriving instinct reaches a vibration of resolve. So breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rub your hands against each other in front of your chest. This time what I want you to do is to touch your fingertips to each other. And in that quadrangle, allow yourself to look through the quadrangle. And we are sealing the whole brain state. That whole brain state, the moment it is sealed, it actually seals the nanocellular level, up-leveling that we have just achieved, which has anchored this 5th commandment of thriving for each one of you. Rub your hands against each other in front of your throat. Put them over your eyes. Open your eyes and then take them on top of your head, the back of your head, down on either side of your neck, your shoulders. Do an energy sweep, blow. Okay. This was the most important part of what was required to be done in this session. I'm now going to give you 7 steps, and I'm going to just literally go in, actually 7 practices that you can work with. And if you take on these 7 practices and do them consistently over the next 28 days, this thriving instinct becomes a practice ongoingly. So the first practice is to choose. Choose as a consequence thriving. I choose thriving. I wake up in the morning, I choose thriving. Now thriving becomes my modus operandi. It becomes the barometer through which I make my choices and decisions. So that's practice number 1. Choose thriving. Practice number 2. Practice number 2 is to choose full spectrum. Choose full spectrum. Now, full spectrum in the context of well-being, full spectrum in the context of co-creation. So when you say full spectrum, in the context of being, if you notice something feels off physically, sure enough, address the physical comfort part, but before you just dive into doing or action, allow yourself to just engage at a mental level, noticing what you feel mentally. Noticing what the experience is at an emotional level. Reconnect to the spirit of you. Connecting to the spirit of you it brings forth the spiritedness of you. Experience the dynamic, the being that you are when you show up in any social environment, and unconditionally accept what is, recalibrating your inner environment so that it remains in its centered, in a thriving space as it moves forward, experiencing the environment outside of you. So that's like the well-being side. You know, if you are in the middle of a conversation and you choose full spectrum, and you're very drawn to being reactive about something, when you choose full spectrum, you allow yourself to receive the other person. Your listening shifts from hearing with the intention of responding to actually listening with the intention of receiving before responding. So practice number 2 is choose full spectrum. Practice number 3 is station yourself in whole and complete. And that may feel really difficult at times because at a conscious level, it does not feel whole and complete. At that point, I invite you to do the 9-4-6 breath. You do it for 5 times as a minimum. And give yourself the permission. In doing that 9-4-6 breath, you reconnect to the soul being that occupies this human body. And by reconnecting to the soul being that occupies this human body, you station in whole and complete. Even though mentally you may not feel that way. Practice number 4 is the practice of stillness. We are such a, we have such a huge amount of doingness in us. And 2020, if those of you who've heard me talk about this for the last couple of years, I've been saying 2020 is a year where the volume is turned up on doing. The balance of between doing and being, it's more doing than being. And being will occur, which is completely the other way up to this point in time. And I'm saying to you, the 4th practice is the practice of stillness. What is stillness when you're engaged in doing? The stillness comes from connecting to an inner knowing. And that inner knowing that you're connecting to is really at a core level. As long as you are human, you are a vibrational frequency of love. However disconnected or confusing the outside world may feel, or chaotic it may feel, you plug into that knowingness that you are the frequency of love. That alone uplifts you to an amplifying experience of the frequency of love. And this frequency of love resides in that stillness zone that is there within each one of us. You can be completely still in absolute chaos, where the chaos may even be occurring within you. You can always find that stillness zone in you. And all it takes is, right, I am human. I allow myself, I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. You are in stillness, in the vibrational frequency of love. Practice number 6. Practice number 6 is the practice of smile. It is the fashion of smile. It is the style of smile. And this is a practice of enabling a cellular smile to take place. So you've heard me say this many times before, but practice this. Smile, smile, and swallow that smile. Literally, just as you swallow that smile, you'll feel your ears will crackle. You may feel a little bit of a tear, and literally experience when you smile, smile, swallow that smile, swallow it again, and you start experiencing every cell in your body smile. And just visualize what it feels like having these smiley faces, trillions of them emanating out of you. And how cool it is that we all have to wear a face mask now. So it's only the cellular smile that other people receive. So it's a great practice. We get a chance to practice it a lot. And the seventh practice is a practice of gifting yourself. Giving yourself a present. And it's a present of your presence. And how do you have your presence be packaged so it is a gift to you? You do it by rejoicing. So when you give yourself the present of your presence, anchor yourself, station yourself in something about you that you rejoice. So simple, fun to do, easy to do, great to integrate wherever you are, I've been beginning my day with these practices, and it's really great. And I just love it every time I feel, oh, this mask thing is, because I've started traveling, right? I have the immunity pass. So I've been traveling around everywhere since I've had the COVID thing happen already. So I've had some long drives, and the mask after a while starts to hurt. In India, if you're sitting in the car and you are not wearing a mask, it's a fine. You can even, you'll certainly be fined, and it could be even harsher than that. So you're like sitting in this drive wearing this mask, and the moment it starts to hurt, I go, smile, smile, swallow that smile. And wow, I'm there with all these big beaming, smiles at a cellular level. And what we've done today is connected at a nano-cellular level. So your RNA and your DNA level is also smiling when you smile and swallow that smile. So having said all of that, we've got 6 minutes left. Catherine, over to you for a couple of questions that we can answer.
Well, the first question is, I think we missed a step, or either we got caught up in it. I know a couple of people, Daniela and Danette. We have after stillness and before the smile, I think there's a step 5. So let's see, we have choosing consequence, we have full spectrum, we have station yourself, and I can't read my writing. I need to put my glasses on. Somebody's gonna have to put that in whole and complete. And then practice stillness. And then I think there's another one, then practice a smile, and then gifting yourself presence. See, I even have to take notes, Mynoo. It's like every single time. I was like, how is she gonna explain this amazing situation? Of course, it had to be an experience. So we're so lucky that you got to take us on this journey. But I think there's one that we're missing, unless there's 6.
Yes. So the one that is, this is a practice of connecting your self-expression to your identity, and it's a practice of a particular hand gesture, right? So you literally just have your left hand on your throat and your right hand, the palm of your hand over your navel. It just needs to be a few seconds. Just this, you're in the thriving instinct. Done. You have a shortness of breath because you're entering survival instinct. This, you're in thriving. Simple.
I love that. Wow, this is I'm so happy that I actually can listen to this again on Facebook. So all of you remember, you can go right onto Facebook and replay this. So it's a practice, and to be able to have this as a go-to, I think really makes it become more real, because we can talk about it, but the fact that we can experience it, that really is where we're in the thriving. And I see why you started it with this beautiful practice. Thank you so much. So maybe there's just going to be one question tonight, because I know we only have a few minutes left. And I'm just going to go with the first question that was asked, because I think you possibly may have answered it in this practice. So the question was, I want to find out my purpose. I have no idea where to begin this process. How do I connect into finding what my purpose is?
Yes. Okay, that's a really good question, Catherine. Now, the first thing to get is, what is the purpose of life? Right? So the first thing is to just really engage with, you have life and there is a purpose to life. What is the purpose to life? There is only one purpose, which is to come alive. Now, in the journey of coming alive lies a revelation of what your purpose is. Now, so the way to access that is to know what aliveness feels like. And when you are feeling alive, you feel flow. You feel that yummy feeling. So for you to tap into what does aliveness feel like is what is going to give you the answer to what your purpose is. So first get comfortable with that experience of aliveness. Now, Catherine, and there are so many of you here who've been on the journey into miracles, we engage with what that aliveness means for each one of you. What aliveness actually means and how that expresses itself is by you stepping into and owning and feeling that confidence and freedom to express your unique mastery, which puts you at the source of your life, and we call it source mastery. So, and the purpose that we have is the expression of our source mastery. The expression of our source mastery. So if you are interested in uncovering what that is for you, and you haven't already got it, please reach out to Catherine. And we will come back to you on how you can engage with that. Now, once you have gotten your source mastery, the only game in town is to be in your source, operate from your mastery. There is another journey that you go on to discover what your gig is. And how is this source mastery going to be expressed? So in my case, my source mastery is, my mastery in leaving people truly, madly, deeply in love with themselves. And this mastery expresses itself through my gig that I uncovered, which is expecting and accepting miracles being the norm for all humans and humanity at large. So once I got my gig, then I applied playing that gig in all different aspects of my life. But for those, to begin with, once you get that only purpose to life is to come alive, okay, how do I know that I'm feeling alive? You feel flow. How do I know that I'm in flow? You have that yummy feeling, right? And then if you want to go deeper into discovering what that yummy feeling actually presences you into, because it presences you in your source. And for you to discover what that is at a conscious level, so you can bring it forth as a matter of choice, join us. We'll do the living from source. And then we go into discovering what your gig is through the journey into miracles and beyond. That's my response. Over to you, Catherine.
I love the and beyond. That's my favorite part. It just never ends, does it? It's a continual. And, you know, don't forget, for those of you who are joining us on the Thursday nights, the Tuesday, the Thursday, and the Saturday morning meditations are so beyond meditation. So that's another thing just to put in your back pocket and to really, they're very experiential. So yes, thank you so much, Mynoo, for that just delightful experience. And I really did. I love leaving people passionately inspired to be in their greatness. That's my source. And I felt it in every cell of my body as we went through that experience. So thank you so much for that. And thank you all. I think it's time for us to express our gratitude and our one word that we're present to right now, be it whatever's coming forth for you. So we're going to be closing right on the money here. And I'm going to start with abundance because I feel so filled up right now and I'm vibrating and I'm feeling it come through every pore of my body. So my word is amazing and abundance. I can't choose between the two.
Hyphenated.
Hyphenated. So let's put those words in the chat and I'll read this from Mynoo. We have satisfaction from Renelle. Hello, Renelle. We have infinite love and expansion, Kenneth. We have awakening from Daniela. Huge smile and gratitude. Oh, they're coming in so fast now. Joy, inspired, freedom to be. Oh, that just makes me feel good reading that one. Magnificence, all caps. Mary Catherine, beautiful. Yes, giant smile. Thank you. Wow. I think we really felt that whole idea of what it's like to swallow a smile. And oh, it is beautiful. So we have celebration, rejoicing, gratitude, love. No rules, but be love. A lot of love coming on tonight. Light switch on. I know. I felt like lit up tonight. I'm like, that's what they mean by being lit up. Yes. Inspired. Joy. Awakening. They're still coming in. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you again, everyone, for being here tonight and for having an opportunity to be on this journey with us. And we will be right back here again next Thursday for another big surprise because we'll be on the 6th commandment. We're just blazing through here. Thrive on. Love it, Connie. Experience of thriving.
Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
It gives a whole new meaning to getting out of the way of ourselves and just allowing this to come forth, doesn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thrive on.
I love it.